Your hands are tingling and your legs feel weak. This is exactly why and how to fix it. Stop what you're doing for just a moment. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night with your hands completely numb, or stood up from a chair and felt like your legs just weren't ready to hold you, most doctors will tell you it's simply part of getting older. Take some supplements, maybe see a specialist. But here is what most people are never told. A significant portion of that tingling, that weakness, that stiffness you feel every single morning is directly tied to the collapse of one specific protein inside your body. A protein your body has been quietly losing since your mid-30s, and by the time you're 60, the decline has accelerated to a point where you can actually feel it. That protein is collagen. And before you think this is about skin creams or beauty supplements, stay with me. Because what collagen does inside your joints, your nerves, and your connective tissue has nothing to do with wrinkles. It has everything to do with whether you can walk comfortably, grip things firmly, and move through your day without pain or that unsettling pins and needles sensation that keeps coming back. Here is the important part. Your body can still produce collagen, even at 60, 70, and beyond. But it needs specific raw materials to do it, and most people over 60 are not getting nearly enough of them from their daily diet. In this video, we're covering 8 snacks, each one grounded in nutritional science that directly supply those raw materials. These are not miracle foods, but they are foods that work, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why and exactly how to prepare each one. The science you need to understand first, before we get to the snacks, you need a clear picture of what is actually happening inside your body, because once you understand the mechanism, everything that follows will make complete sense. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the human body. It makes up approximately 30% of your total protein mass. Think of it as the scaffolding that holds your entire physical structure together. It forms the framework of your bones, the lining of your blood vessels, the padding between your joints, the sheath that wraps and protects your nerves, and the anchoring tissue that connects your muscles to your skeleton. When collagen is abundant and healthy, joints move fluidly. Nerves fire cleanly, muscles stay anchored, you feel stable and capable. When collagen declines, which happens at a rate of roughly 1 to 1.5% per year after age 60, several things break down simultaneously. Cartilage thins, reducing the natural cushioning between bones. The connective tissue surrounding your peripheral nerves weakens, which disrupts the transmission of nerve signals. That disruption is what produces tingling, numbness, and that frustrating pins and needles sensation in your hands and feet. Meanwhile, the structural integrity of your tendons and ligaments decreases, contributing to joint instability and the leg weakness that makes people feel unsteady on their feet. Here is the critical piece of information. Your body cannot rebuild collagen from nothing. It requires 2 things working together. First, amino acids, specifically glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, which are the actual molecular building blocks of the collagen protein chain. Second, vitamin C, which serves as a mandatory cofactor in the collagen synthesis process. Without vitamin C, the biochemical reaction that assembles collagen simply cannot be completed, regardless of how much protein you consume. Every single snack on this list targets one or both of these requirements. Some deliver the amino acids directly. Some flood your body with vitamin C. Some do both simultaneously while also reducing the inflammation that accelerates collagen breakdown in the first place. Now let's get into them. Dark chocolate almond clusters. We're starting with one that most people would never connect to joint pain or nerve health, and that's exactly why it's first. Dark chocolate, specifically dark chocolate with a minimum of 70% cacao content and ideally 80% or higher. Here's the science. Dark chocolate contains 2 categories of plant compounds that are directly relevant to collagen, flavanols and proanthocyanidins. These are not vague antioxidants, they have specific, documented mechanisms. Flavanols have been shown in peer-reviewed research to stimulate collagen synthesis at the cellular level, reduce the oxidative stress that degrades existing collagen, and lower C-reactive protein, one of the primary markers of systemic inflammation. Proanthocyanidins specifically protect collagen crosslinks, which are the molecular bonds that give collagen its structural strength. Dr. William Lee, a vascular biologist whose research focuses on how food activates the body's own repair systems, has specifically identified high cacao dark chocolate as one of the most effective foods for supporting tissue repair and promoting the regeneration of vascular tissue, which is critical for delivering nutrients to joint cartilage, which has no direct blood supply of its own. One more important point: the flavonols in dark chocolate also support healthy endothelial function, meaning they help keep blood vessels flexible and responsive. Better circulation means better delivery of collagen-building nutrients to your peripheral nerves, directly relevant to reducing tingling and numbness. The catch: none of this applies to milk chocolate or sweetened candy bars. The sugar content in those products actively promotes inflammation and counteracts every benefit we just discussed. You need the darkest chocolate you can tolerate. 70% at minimum, 80 to 85% is better. Single origin bars are typically higher in flavonol content because they undergo less processing. How to make it: melt 1 ounce of high cacao dark chocolate over very low heat. Stir in a small handful of roasted almonds. Almonds are high in arginine, an amino acid that supports collagen production and also provide vitamin E, which protects collagen-containing tissues from oxidative damage. Add 1 teaspoon of dried goji berries, which contain approximately 48 milligrams of vitamin C per 100 grams, along with zeaxanthin, a compound that protects nerve cells. Spoon into small clusters on parchment paper and refrigerate until set. This is a snack that is genuinely working for your body while feeling like an indulgence. Gelatin fruit bites. Most people have eaten gelatin their entire life and had no idea they were eating one of the most bioavailable forms of collagen that exists. Here's what gelatin actually is from a biochemical standpoint. It is collagen that has been partially hydrolyzed, meaning the long protein chains have been broken into shorter fragments through the application of heat and water. This process makes the amino acids significantly easier for your body to absorb compared to intact collagen proteins from whole food sources. Gelatin is particularly concentrated in glycine and proline. Glycine alone makes up roughly 1/3 of the total amino acid content of collagen, and it serves dual purposes. It is a direct structural component of collagen, and it is also a key neurotransmitter that supports the inhibitory pathways in your nervous system, meaning adequate glycine intake is associated with calmer nerve signaling and reduced neurological inflammation. The clinical evidence here is compelling. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that participants who consumed gelatin alongside vitamin C showed significantly elevated markers of collagen synthesis in tendon tissue compared to controls. A separate clinical investigation found that consistent gelatin supplementation was associated with up to a 37% reduction in joint pain scores in participants with knee osteoarthritis. That is a clinically meaningful reduction, comparable in some trials to low-dose anti-inflammatory medications without the gastrointestinal side effects. How to make it: warm 1 cup of unsweetened tart cherry juice or pomegranate juice to just below simmering. Do not boil, as excessive heat can degrade some of the antioxidant content. Tart cherry juice is particularly valuable here because it contains anthocyanins that have been shown to specifically reduce the activity of inflammatory enzymes that break down cartilage. Dissolve 2 tablespoons of plain powdered gelatin into the warm juice, stirring continuously. Add a handful of fresh berries. Strawberries, blueberries, or raspberries all work well and provide additional vitamin C. Pour into silicone molds and refrigerate until set, typically 2 to 3 hours. The result is a soft, easy-to-chew bite that delivers pre-broken down collagen building blocks directly to the tissues that need them most. Chicken bone broth. This is one of the oldest foods in human history, and modern nutritional science is now explaining exactly why generations of people used it to recover from illness and injury. Chicken bone broth is not simply flavored water. When joint-rich chicken bones, feet, knuckles, and the carcass are simmered in slightly acidified water for an extended period, a cascade of extraction occurs. Collagen from the connective tissue breaks down into gelatin and free amino acids. Glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate Compounds that support cartilage regeneration and are sold as expensive standalone supplements are naturally released from the cartilage into the liquid. Calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium are drawn from the bones themselves, and glycine and proline accumulate in concentrations that are difficult to match through other dietary sources. The acid component, apple cider vinegar or any mild acid, is not optional. It is the mechanism by which mineral extraction from the bones is significantly enhanced. Research comparing bone broths made with and without acid shows measurably higher mineral content in acidified preparations. Glycine, which is highly concentrated in bone broth, has a specific relevance to nerve health that deserves attention. Studies in neuroscience research have identified glycine as a major inhibitory neurotransmitter in the spinal cord and brainstem. Adequate dietary glycine supports the regulation of nerve signal transmission, and deficiency has been associated with heightened pain sensitivity, meaning that for people experiencing tingling or nerve discomfort, adequate glycine intake may directly modulate how intensely those symptoms are perceived. How to make it? Place leftover chicken bones in a large pot. The more joint-rich, the better. Add enough cold water to cover by 2 inches. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 quartered onion, 2 celery stalks, 2 carrots, and a few black peppercorns. Bring to a very low simmer and maintain that temperature for a minimum of 8 hours, ideally 12. Do not boil aggressively. A gentle simmer preserves more gelatin integrity. Strain, cool, and refrigerate. A properly made broth will solidify into a gel when cold. This is the collagen. Warm a half-cup serving before drinking and finish with a squeeze of lemon juice for vitamin C activation. Even half a cup consumed daily creates a consistent supply of collagen precursors that your body can draw on for tissue repair throughout the day. Cantaloupe and pistachio bites. If you've been taking collagen supplements but not getting enough vitamin C, you may as well not be taking them at all. Here's why. Vitamin C is not simply helpful for collagen synthesis, it is chemically required for it. Specific enzymes that hydroxylate proline and lysine residues during collagen assembly, prolyl hydroxylase and lysyl hydroxylase, are completely dependent on vitamin C as a cofactor. If vitamin C is insufficient, these enzymes cannot function, and the collagen fiber cannot be properly cross-linked. The result is structurally unstable collagen that breaks down rapidly. This is why historical vitamin C deficiency scurvy manifested as bleeding gums, joint pain, and wounds that would not heal. These are all collagen failure symptoms. Cantaloupe delivers approximately 57 milligrams of vitamin C per cup, covering more than 60% of the daily recommended intake. It also contains a significant amount of beta-carotene, which converts to vitamin A in the body. Vitamin A regulates the expression of genes involved in collagen production and is particularly important for maintaining the collagen integrity of mucous membranes and epithelial tissue. Beyond the vitamin content, cantaloupe is approximately 90% water by weight, making it one of the most effective foods for maintaining the joint synovial fluid that lubricates cartilage surfaces during movement. Dehydration, even mild dehydration, reduces synovial fluid viscosity and directly worsens joint discomfort. How to make it? Cut ripe cantaloupe into bite-sized cubes. Squeeze fresh lime juice generously over the top. Lime adds an additional 20 to 30 milligrams of vitamin C, and the citric acid creates a favorable environment for mineral absorption. Scatter a small handful of shelled pistachios over the melon. Pistachios are one of the few nuts that contain meaningful amounts of copper and manganese, both of which are cofactors for lysyl oxidase, the enzyme responsible for forming the cross-links that give mature collagen its tensile strength. Add a few fresh mint leaves for flavor. This snack is particularly effective consumed 30 to 60 minutes before any physical activity when your body's collagen synthesis rate is temporarily elevated. Tomato and mozzarella stack. Here is something that most nutrition content completely overlooks. Building new collagen is only half the equation. The other half is protecting the collagen you already have from being destroyed. Tomatoes do the second part better than almost any other food. Tomatoes contain 2 collagen-relevant compounds. The first is vitamin C, which drives new collagen synthesis, as we've discussed. The second is lycopene, a carotenoid antioxidant with a very specific protective mechanism. It inhibits the activity of matrix metalloproteinases, enzymes abbreviated as MMPs, which are the primary molecular agents responsible for breaking down collagen in joint tissue and skin. Elevated MMP activity is a hallmark of both osteoarthritis and age-related skin collagen loss. Lycopene measurably suppresses this destructive process. Here is a preparation detail that makes a real biochemical difference. Lycopene is a fat-soluble compound, meaning your body can only absorb it effectively in the presence of dietary fat. Research comparing lycopene absorption from raw tomatoes versus tomatoes consumed with olive oil found absorption rates 3 to 4 times higher in the fat-paired group. This is not a minor difference. It determines whether the lycopene you eat actually reaches your tissues or simply passes through. Additionally, lycopene bioavailability increases when tomatoes are lightly warmed because heat breaks the bonds between lycopene and the cell matrix, releasing more of it for absorption. How to make it? Slice a ripe, room temperature tomato, never refrigerated, as cold storage measurably reduces both flavor and lycopene availability. Layer with fresh mozzarella, which provides casein protein and branch-chain amino acids that support tissue repair. For a dairy-free version, sliced avocado works excellently and adds oleic acid, a monounsaturated fat that enhances lycopene absorption. Drizzle generously with high-quality extra virgin olive oil. Add fresh basil leaves, which contribute rosmarinic acid, an additional anti-inflammatory compound. Allow the assembled stack to rest for 5 minutes before eating, giving the olive oil time to fully coat the tomato surface. Guava and Greek yogurt bowl. If someone told you there was a fruit that contains more than twice your entire daily vitamin C requirement in a single serving, you'd probably assume it was rare or expensive. It isn't. You can find it in most grocery stores. Most people just walk right past it. Guava contains approximately 228 milligrams of vitamin C per 100-gram serving. For comparison, an orange of the same weight contains around 53 milligrams. Guava delivers more than 4 times as much vitamin C as orange, a fruit that most people already consider a good vitamin C source. For anyone experiencing the symptoms we've been discussing, joint stiffness, hand tingling, leg weakness, that level of vitamin C delivery is not trivial. Research in elderly populations has consistently found a correlation between low vitamin C status and accelerated collagen degradation, higher rates of osteoarthritis progression, and increased inflammatory markers in synovial joint fluid. Correcting vitamin C insufficiency, which is more common in adults over 60 than generally recognized, can meaningfully slow these processes. Pairing guava with plain Greek yogurt creates a nutritionally synergistic combination. Greek yogurt is one of the highest protein foods in the standard diet, with approximately 17 to 20 grams of protein per cup. It provides proline and glutamine, amino acids that are direct precursors in the collagen synthesis pathway. The live bacterial cultures in yogurt support intestinal health, and a well-functioning gut significantly improves the absorption efficiency of both amino acids and micronutrients involved in collagen production. How to make it? Dice fresh ripe guava. The seeds are edible and contain additional fiber and antioxidants. Stir into 1 cup of plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt. Add a squeeze of fresh lime juice for additional vitamin C. Drizzle with a small amount of raw honey, which contains propolis compounds with demonstrated anti-inflammatory activity. Top with crushed walnuts or almonds. Walnuts specifically contribute alpha-linolenic acid, an omega-3 fatty acid, along with zinc and copper, both of which are enzymatic cofactors in the collagen cross-linking process. Kiwi and walnut crunch. 2 medium kiwi fruits contain more vitamin C than most people get in an entire day, but that's actually the second most interesting thing about this fruit for collagen health. The first is an enzyme called actinidin, which is unique to kiwi. Actinidin is a protease, an enzyme that breaks down proteins into their component amino acids during digestion. Research has shown that consuming kiwi with a protein-containing meal significantly increases the digestion rate and absorption of collagen-relevant amino acids, including proline and glycine. In practical terms, this means that eating kiwi alongside or shortly after a protein source makes the amino acids in that food more available for collagen synthesis. On the vitamin C side, Two medium kiwis provide approximately 137 to 140 milligrams of vitamin C, exceeding the recommended daily intake. Kiwi also provides vitamin K, which is required for the carboxylation of osteocalcin, a protein involved in bone collagen matrix formation, and folate, which supports cellular DNA repair and is required for the production of new cells in cartilage and connective tissue. For the neurological symptoms specifically, the tingling and numbness, kiwi's antioxidant profile is notable. It is high in lutein and zeaxanthin, carotenoids that protect neural tissue from oxidative damage, and its vitamin C content directly supports the integrity of the myelin sheath, the collagen-containing protective layer around nerve fibers. How to make it: slice 2 fresh kiwis and arrange on a plate. Add a generous handful of toasted walnuts. Walnuts are the richest plant source of omega-3 fatty acids and have been specifically studied in the context of neurological inflammation. Regular walnut consumption is associated with measurable reductions in inflammatory cytokines that contribute to peripheral nerve discomfort. Add a pinch of flaked sea salt to enhance the flavor contrast. For those without sensitivity, a small amount of dried chili flakes introduces capsaicin, which activates TRPV1 receptors in peripheral nerves in a way that, with regular use, can reduce chronic pain signal intensity, a process called desensitization that is well established in pain research. Pineapple and macadamia nut bites. Pineapple is the only food on the planet with a meaningful concentration of this particular enzyme, and what that enzyme does to inflammation in your joints and nerves is worth understanding. The enzyme is bromelain, and it works through a mechanism that distinguishes it from standard dietary antioxidants. Bromelain is a proteolytic enzyme. It breaks down proteins, but in the context of inflammation, it specifically cleaves bradykinin and fibrin, two molecules that accumulate at sites of tissue injury and are responsible for much of the pain and swelling associated with joint inflammation. Multiple randomized controlled trials have found bromelain to be effective in reducing joint swelling, decreasing pro-inflammatory cytokine levels, specifically IL-1 beta and TNF-alpha, and alleviating pain scores in osteoarthritis patients to a degree comparable to some non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, but without their gastrointestinal risks. Bromelain also has a direct application to collagen repair. It has been shown to stimulate fibroblast proliferation. Fibroblasts are the cells responsible for producing new collagen, and to enhance the penetration of collagen synthesis cofactors into connective tissue by reducing the viscosity of inflammatory exudate around injured areas. Combine bromelain with pineapple's vitamin C content, approximately 79 milligrams per cup, and you have a food that simultaneously reduces the inflammatory environment, destroying your collagen, while providing the vitamin C needed to produce new collagen to replace it. How to make it: cut fresh pineapple into bite-sized chunks. Always use fresh rather than canned, as the canning process denatures bromelain. Combine with macadamia nuts or raw cashews. Macadamia nuts contain the highest proportion of palmitoleic acid of any nut, a monounsaturated fatty acid that supports cell membrane integrity and has demonstrated anti-inflammatory effects in joint tissue. Cashews contribute meaningful amounts of zinc and copper, both essential cofactors in collagen enzyme activity. Finish with a light dusting of ground cinnamon, which has been shown in multiple clinical studies to reduce fasting blood glucose and decrease the glycation of collagen, a process in which excess blood sugar permanently damages collagen fibers and accelerates their degradation. Why consistency matters more than quantity. Before the closing summary, there is one thing worth emphasizing clearly. None of these snacks work after a single serving. Collagen synthesis and tissue repair are slow biological processes. Cartilage has no direct blood supply, which means nutrient delivery to joint tissue is inherently gradual. Peripheral nerve repair, the process that reduces tingling and numbness, can take weeks to months of consistent nutritional support before noticeable changes occur. The research studies cited throughout this video typically measured outcomes over periods of 8 to 12 weeks of consistent intake. That is the timeframe within which you can realistically expect to notice meaningful changes in joint comfort, grip strength, and nerve symptom intensity. You do not need all 8 of these snacks simultaneously. consistently including 2 or 3 of them in your weekly routine every week over a period of 2 to 3 months is both realistic and sufficient to create a measurably different nutritional environment for your joints, nerves, and connective tissue. Here is a concise breakdown of what each snack contributes and why it belongs in your routine. Dark chocolate almond clusters deliver flavanols that stimulate collagen synthesis and protect collagen cross-links, alongside amino acids from almonds and vitamin C from goji berries. Gelatin fruit bites provide pre-hydrolyzed collagen amino acids, glycine and proline, in the most bioavailable form available from food. Chicken bone broth contributes the full spectrum of collagen precursors including glucosamine, chondroitin, glycine, and proline extracted directly from connective tissue. Cantaloupe and pistachio bites supply the vitamin C required for collagen synthesis to occur, along with copper and manganese needed for collagen cross-linking. Tomato and mozzarella stacks deliver lycopene to inhibit the enzymes that break down collagen, paired with fat to ensure that lycopene is actually absorbed. Guava yogurt bowls provide the highest dietary concentration of vitamin C available alongside the protein and probiotic support needed to maximize amino acid absorption. Kiwi and walnut crunch combines vitamin C with actinidin to enhance protein digestion and omega-3 fatty acids to reduce neurological inflammation driving nerve symptoms. And pineapple macadamia bites use bromelain to directly address joint inflammation while simultaneously providing vitamin C for new collagen production. Together, these 8 snacks address every stage of the collagen life cycle: synthesis, protection, delivery, and inflammation control. Start with 1. Stay consistent. Give your body the time and the materials it needs to repair. If this was useful to you, subscribe so you don't miss future videos where we continue breaking down the science of healthy aging in practical, evidence-based terms. Leave a comment below letting us know which of these snacks you plan to try first.